All right, so welcome to my spoiler review of Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery. Glass Onion, of course, being a reference to a Beatles song and something in the movie, and of course, it being Knives Out too. Now, I did do a non spoiler review on this, and I think you should probably watch this movie without spoilers. It's on Netflix right now. It's only about 2 hours. It won't take it too long. So if you have not seen the film, please go check out my non spoiler review. Check that out here on World of Geekdom. This is going to be for the people who have seen the movie. Those who have seen the movie, okay? So let's talk about it. Here we go. Last warning, we're going into spoilers. Okay, so I'm going to assume and hope that you guys saw my non-spoiler, because in that I talked about how much I like the actors and the performances here. And Edward Norton was freaking great. The way he was like hiding behind Benoit, like, kind of overacting, being goofy. I thought he was definitely channeling some like David Spade there, but he also was able to switch real quick and become the villain. I'm afraid I called this like right when they got on the island. I was like, okay, if this dude gets murdered, it's going to be, he's the culprit. Like, he's going to do it to himself. I don't know why I thought that, but I just did. And then later in the movie, when I really knew that he was the culprit, when all the evidence was stacking up as far as who would be the most likely to have been the murderer, the one who killed Andy Brand, Cassandra Brand. So I really liked the whole storyline, how the twin sister thing, how the twin went to the island pretending to be, pretending to be her, and they didn't know about the death till the phone went off. That was all very clever writing. I enjoyed that. Like I said, my main issues with the film are the fact that halfway through the movie, you get a like they basically is like halfway through is when the mystery starts, when Batista dies from drinking the poison or whatever. And the whole thing was, did you guys see this, or was your mind playing tricks on you? And I like that. I like how he shot two different things. One of Edward Norton putting his cup down and Batista grabbing it, and then one of him handing it to Batista, but it was so similar. Like, that was actually really good filmmaking. Like I said, Rian Johnson is not a bad filmmaker. I don't think he is. Last Jedi is... I don't like that movie, dude. I've already gone over a million times as to why. He has shown in the past to be a good filmmaker, which is why I was excited for Last Jedi. But I think he made a lot of mistakes on that one. Here we have characters that are pretty much his characters, and they are basically, he can do whatever he wants with them. Luke Skywalker, like, is a character that he didn't create, that came along 40 years prior. Here we have characters that are history, can do whatever he wants. I was surprised too when Helen, Andy's twin sister, got shot, and I thought that she was dead. Then they go to the flashback part, very Quentin Tarantino-ish, non-linear storytelling. The build-up, we find out why Daniel Craig's even there. I didn't like the fact that the bullet like ricocheted off of like that whatever she had in her pocket, like a phone. That does not seem very realistic. A bullet going that fast will rip right through a phone. I've never heard of that. If there's something I don't know about, if there's like a really strong phone, like just the jolt from the bullet should be enough to like at least crack her sternum. That's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm wrong about that, the speed of the bullet, but it is what it is. But when I saw that the hand come out and shoot her, like, I didn't know for sure it was Edward Norton's character, like at that point, but I was thinking it was. And then I saw how everybody else was behaving, and it was like, okay, they're either really good liars or it's him. And it was him. And ultimately, I mentioned, Rian Johnson subversion. So most of them were fine. The one that bugged me was, so she pulls out the napkin, right, with the actual original, like, Andy's, like, original, like, scribbles on the napkin. The one that is actually belongs to her, not to Miles Braun. And so Miles Braun just burns it. Like, he just happened to have a lighter and he burned it and it's gone. But what about all the photocopies that they have from the fax machines? Obviously, the letter's not in there, but the fact that she had a letter, that should be enough. And then also the fact that everybody else, like, okay, everybody else was there. And then at first they decide not to be witnesses. Like, okay, we're not going to get involved. But then by the end of the movie, after Helen trashes the place, which I also didn't like. I didn't like the fact that Daniel Craig was like, okay, well, it's out of my jurisdiction. But wait a minute, dude. You are a witness here. If they reopen this trial, you could be called as a witness. There is more you can do. But basically, I didn't like that. But basically, he was giving her permission to smash everything. So she's smashing stuff and he's just sitting there, not even trying to like stop her. If he's really that rich, shouldn't he have like a bodyguard somewhere on the island? And what about that other guy? There was that random other dude. I think it was Ethan Hawke that played him. I don't really remember. Or maybe it was Hugh Grant. You know, the guy who was kind of like a pothead. Like, he didn't do anything in the movie. So I was wondering, like, okay, wait a minute, like, where is this going? And it felt like they were going to do something with him. Like, maybe he helped Miles kill somebody, but that's not what happened. That is not what happened. Like, and that was, you know, I think that's who played him. I don't really remember, but anyways, that was something that I saw that was like, wait a minute, like, that doesn't make any sense. She's smashing shit, nobody's stopping her, and then at the end of the day, they all kind of take her side, and he's kind of finished. She blows up the Mona Lisa. It is what it is. I don't know if I would have gone far enough to destroy the Mona Lisa, but he did say that he rented it and that he owed, that France owed him or he owed them or something. I forget. It was a loan. He ain't going to get that money back now. So the ending was satisfying, but that subversion right before the ending, I didn't think was necessary with him burning the letter. That could have just been the end right there. Plus, why didn't she just keep it to herself? Why pull it out? Like, her pulling it out makes it like a movie, you know? I know we're watching a movie, but you got to make it more realistic. Also, there was times where I felt like the way that Daniel Craig would mention Clue, how it was a stupid game, almost felt like it was Rian Johnson, because everybody said that Knives Out was like Clue, but what he has to understand, and hopefully he does, is that that's not an insult. Clue with Tim Curry is a fun movie. The Clue board game is fun. Like, these are compliments. Those are not insults. So I don't know if maybe he was channeling, you know, if Craig was channeling Rian Johnson. I know that it felt like Duke, the Twitch guy, who's like a men's rights guy, it kind of felt like maybe he was kind of, Rian Johnson was poking fun at YouTubers and Twitch streamers that lean right. But what was interesting is, because this is good stuff here, the fact that the Catherine Hahn's character, Claire, she's the governor trying to run for Senate or whatever. Like, the fact that she was like, I can't be, you know, a right-wing man dies on an island, I'm going to get blamed for it. It's almost like she's aware, and so is Rian Johnson, of the left's constant, like, counterculture, or I'm sorry, cancel culture bullshit. So it was almost like she was a representative of these, like, fake woke activist politicians who pretend to be woke while taking money from fucking companies, which all of them fucking do. It almost felt like he was making fun of both sides. I know that some YouTubers are going to say, no, he's talking about only the right because he's on the left. But no, I think that he was making fun of both the left and the right, especially since he chose a left-leaning politician to be involved in this who had a real motive for killing, you know, Miles. Who at first they make you think that he's going to be the guy that gets killed, right? That he's going to be he gets killed, and then the mystery on the island is, you know, Daniel Craig trying to solve it. But no, the movie doesn't do that. And I'm glad it didn't, but it also made it for a very weird sort of whodunit, because there were clues there for you to figure it out, but I didn't think there were enough clues to give you enough time to figure it out. Like, I figured it out, but if you really wanted to make it a thing where you want to go down this journey of piecing together puzzles, he had to have slowed the pace down. And the movie was not slow paced. It was 2 hours. You know, straight up 139 minutes. 2-hour movie. So, with that being said, the movie felt very briskly paced. It was well paced. It was fast. I liked that. It wasn't slow at all. Every scene kind of mattered. And then they would cut back and show, like, how Helen and Benoit were like talking privately, like with their plan and whatnot. So it was almost like he had already solved the mystery before he even got there, which was yes, Helen's sister Andy got fucked over by Miles, and he was there to kind of figure out who helped them. But the truth is that everybody had a clue, like, you know, seeing him, his car pulling up, and them kind of having an idea, them knowing that Andy came up with it. You know, that all that stuff sounded good. Like, it was a well-written movie, but I still liked the first one more because the first one had, I think, a little bit of a better mystery to it, in my opinion. But I enjoyed this movie. But like I said in my non-spoiler, it's not one that I really rush to see again, but it's interesting. Now, I also want to say this. Kate Hudson's character, Birdie J, probably the least interesting character out of all these people. Like, she was and I don't know, I don't think she phoned it in or anything like that. She was fine, but that character was a little bit underwritten, I feel, in my opinion. Same thing with Peg. So Jessica Henwick is in this movie. The same chick from The Matrix 4, right? The Babs or Bunny, or what was her name? The Bunny, bro. I already forgot, bro. I spoiled the damn movie 6 months before it came out and I already forgot. That's how much I cared about that movie. I liked it, but it's very forgettable. So anyways, Jessica Henwick's character, Peg, didn't do anything. Like, these characters were sort of more like glorified cameos than actually part of the story. The guy who I was thinking about, the slacker, I fucked up, bro. It was not Ethan Hawke and Hugh Grant. Those were other cameos. I looked it up just now. It was Noah Segan, Dural. He was the slacker. And that same actor was in the first Knives Out. But nonetheless, he didn't do anything. So there were characters in this movie that didn't need to be there. And I'm not sure why they were there, really, to be honest. Maybe just to have more dressing. You know, more dressing on the island to make it seem more realistic. You know, and the way that they kind of portrayed Duke as like a man baby whose mom orders him around and he's just recording shit from his home. Like, if that's how YouTubers and Twitch streamers are, then that is a shot at them from Rian Johnson. But I don't take that personal because he did it in a comedic way. Like, it was funny. Like, it was genuinely funny. And Batista was the right guy. I like this movie, but the first one was better in my opinion. I look forward to seeing the next one. If he keeps making these movies, I'm going to watch them because they are a good time. Even if I feel like the second one isn't as good as the first one, you know, I think they both still work. So, yeah, Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery, thumbs up movie. See it at least once if you want. There's other films to see that are better whodunits, but this was fun, and I think you'll enjoy the acting and the characters, and I think it'll work. So it is what it is. Anyways, we'll talk soon. Take care, y'all.